I did watch it, and I did pay attention. And I don't want to get caught up in the obvious problems of it. I wanted to give it a chance, as I do in general with animation. I want to give it a chance. So there were some things that were good about this. I'm going to give you some things that were actually good about this show before we get into the reality of what's happening here.
Yes.
First of all, the color palettes that they're using are pretty fucking solid.
Sure.
Let's look at the image we're looking at right here. They limited Velma's palette pretty severely. The hair, skirt, boots all match. The sweater, socks match. The skin tone is within the same kind of hue neighborhood. It's all warm tones.
Right.
It's somewhere between orange and purple. It's all
Fashionably
in that range.
looks good.
Right, it looks good.
Yeah.
And they've juxtaposed her against blue and green here. Looks good. All of that looks really nice.
Pink highlights there with the lighting.
The lighting highlights look nice. And I found that to be the case throughout the pilot. The lighting work looked nice. They had a lot of sharp color contrast stuff with the lighting, and it looked good. And realistically, I thought their line work, at least on their character illustrations, was pretty solid. If you look at it up close, it's actually very similar to how we do our
I like
line
the
work
animation.
here. Yeah, the frames looked good. I'm not knocking the animation department. They did an excellent job. They were just saddled with poor character design. And there were certain things in it that I did think were pretty good. There's a hallucination sequence where the animation is pretty solid. It obviously gave that team a chance to flex a little bit on what it is that they could do. There was a flashback in there, too, that came out okay. These kind of not non-canonical, but other than the standard reality they experienced, those types of sequences that were in there, I thought were okay. They were okay. Yeah, man, not bad.
I mean, I felt like the panic attack hallucination thing was overused, but the animation on it was good. I mean, she can't always be having a heart attack.
It's true. She don't work for Mr. Cacciatore.
That's right.
That's fair. But those sequences looked okay. I hate to say it though, guys, but that's really about it.
Yeah.
That's really about it.
Yep.
First of all, as long as we're talking about art team, it was clear that they went through multiple background artists throughout this time there, as the background elements are not congruent with each other throughout. It's a little bit of a grab bag. Some of them are good, some of them are bad. And let's not shit ourselves. That's been a problem in the animation industry since the dawn of time. Fleischer dealt with that just as much as I did, just as much as they did. That's always going to be the case. Really, I'm not holding that against them too much. But some of it did kind of stick out as much lower quality than some of the other set pieces. Some of them looked really nice. Some of them were
pretty rough.
Kind of fucking weak, man. They really were. Now, to tell you and I'm sure you know this already, by the way, Las Malvins has followed on Twitch. Thanks for the follow. They really hit it hard right from the very beginning. First things first, the very first line in the series is a knock on white people, and it is followed up immediately by a scene with a bunch of naked high school girls.
Yep, just butts and boobs, dude.
With just bubbles
during
over
which
their
time
parts.
the entirety of the dialogue in the cold open is meta dialogue. It's talking about knowing they're on a TV show, what TV shows do, how this would be if it was a TV show, how we act, and it also implies that all people want to see naked children. It very strongly implies that that's what everybody wants.
It absolutely does. Yeah.
This is, by the way, guys, this is all the cold open. This is the first minute of this show.
Yep.
First minute. And after all that, no theme song. It's just a graphic bumper in the middle, dude. Weak.
Lazy.
So weak, man.
Oy.
Yeah, exactly. The whale was very clear about this. No animals, no kids, dude. Period. Not, oh, well, what? No. The answer is fucking no. I gotta tell you, man, the writing in it is, first of all, very dated. It's very dated. It tries to be meme heavy to communicate with a younger audience, but it's still bullshit, like people saying hashtag out loud.
Yeah.
That wasn't cool 10 years ago, and it definitely sucks now.
Yup.
And all the little metaphors and stuff. Oh, God, it's so judgy. Mindy Kaling's dialogue is so condescending.
And not only
the whole story is her going, nobody likes me because I'm weird, but she is so shitty to everybody she comes into contact with, man.
Yep.
Terrible.
And not only that, the writing is bad, but the voice acting is worse.
It's true, dude.
It was whatever. Like,
Glenn Howerton,
honestly,
I love on Always Sunny, but he's not a voice actor. Mindy Kaling just sounds like Mindy Kaling. The only
Mindy
person
Kaling sounds like she's reading.
The only person I thought was any good was Constance Wu as Daphne.
Yeah.
She was the only decent read. Everybody else, the lines sounded just shit, man.
I don't remember much because it really didn't stick to me.
I agree.
I
gotta tell you, the design is very weak. There's a couple parts where they put a crowd shot in there. By the way, they all go to high school in this iteration, which was never the case in Scooby-Doo before.
Right.
Just to make sure when they did the naked shower scene that these were children that they were animated.
High school. Yep.
Yeah, right. Exactly. But when they showed a crowd shot, it was a lot of same face syndrome. You know what I mean? It's Seth MacFarlane, dude. Everybody looks exactly the fucking same. Oh, you changed the hair color and the jacket. Wow.
Right.
Very much the case here. They really, so much time was spent on trying to hit all these little memes, and so many of them were outdated. And I don't know if y'all agree. I felt like there was no jokes. Were there any jokes?
No.
Like normally,
nothing was memorable for me.
Even if something's not funny, I can at least recognize that's supposed to be a joke. In this, there were very few spots that I even thought something was supposed to be a joke.
No.
Let alone anything actually being funny.
It was an elbow nudge of, haha, see, I think these things. Don't you agree with me? It was not jokes. It was things
It was pushing ideology over making people laugh.
It wasn't spinning all of the plates. It was only spinning ideological
And it was
plates.
very preachy.
Yeah,
it was very preachy.
Much. Yeah.
Have you guys watched the
that
Harley
from
Quinn
something.
show on HBO?
Harley Quinn was okay.
Yeah.
I've seen a few of them.
I
It was
agree.
all
You know how they try to push it with, the language and
That's true, but I will say that in that the language didn't feel unnatural. Okay,
Right.
in real life,
exactly. It felt appropriate,
sure,
but I feel like
I look
this
at
was kind of
myself,
going
for
towards
instance,
it.
and I curse heavily in my normal speech. So people speaking like that doesn't strike me as unnatural. That's what I do and what I hear in my everyday life. But you can tell the difference between shoehorning them in and writing stuff the way people talk.
Right.
So that's what I'm wondering with the Velma show, since I guess people enjoyed it on Harley Quinn. Did they try to incorporate that into their show too?
Phil was just saying earlier that this show felt like Mindy Kaling tried to write Harley Quinn and then just superimposed an IP on top of it.
Yeah, she was very much trying to do Harley Quinn with this, with the Scooby-Doo IP. And the problem is the changes in character, while I get it, that's a big risky move. Well, you failed because they didn't feel natural. They didn't feel right. It felt like the changes to these classically established characters were so drastic that it made them so different that you might as well have just made a separate fucking show.
Well, and realistically, when you're going to go through heavy changes with characters and all this, and I'm not saying that you can't do that. Sometimes you can. But those characters still have to have a chemistry together so that their ensemble scenes make sense, which was the case with the old Scooby-Doo. They wrote that in for humor style, okay, which is fine. That I do that too, to a degree. And it worked out fine. Those characters meshed. It made sense that they were friends, Yep. The characters in this show, how do they even know each other? It doesn't make any fucking sense. There is no mesh between these new psyches that have been
No, they
derived
didn't
for
show
these.
like how they were all connected at one point.
No, there was just a couple of implications about how they all want to fuck each other, and that was pretty much it.
Yeah. But of course, Fred is white, rich, and privileged, so his only connection to Velma is that he copied off her in history because he thought she was Mexican.
Yeah,
because white people do that.
That's almost a joke. It's close. It's almost a joke.
He almost.
But
got
is
a
that
point.
the entire basis for his personality? And it's weak.
It's
dude.
terrible.
It's weak. And I'm sure it's a dead horse at this point. But for Christ's sake, the dog ain't in the show.
Dog ain't in the show.
What are we doing?
We got no Scooby.
Is she anti-dog?
Well, I did mention it in the first episode, at least. Not that I only watched the first one.
You know how you fix this. Like, if you look at the poster, all you have to do is, well, first of all, remove Velma, and Mindy Kaling is Velma and all that stuff, right? You know, keep the new series starting January, HBO Max, but just put Gulf City.
The dog. Replace her with Gulf City. That should have been me on.
Oh yeah.
Poster.
Well, that's
here's the lesson to learn, though, friends. Here's what I've got to say about Velma. Watch the pilot. And then recognize why they ain't getting a second season. Bang! There were no jokes in the fucking script.
There was a bunch of content.
No, but I don't find Mindy funny.
I liked her okay on The Office. Yeah.
You liked her okay. Listen to what you just said. I liked her okay. Oh, she's not funny.
You
mean she's not funny?